Anything else? Or okay, let's just do it. We're gonna do the Celtics thing.
Celtics.
Yeah. So is it time? They just ran the Warriors off the court. My buddy Shane Young, who I used to do a pod with way back in the day. He's been talking about it. I've been struggling to accept it, but they're here. This was funny to see. I will give it funny to see. This is 2017, first year of Steph KD Warriors
Mm.
versus this Celtics team. It's there. They're really good. They're
Well,
really fucking good. I can't take it away from them that they're really fucking good. Um,
and they did that with Porzingis the other day too.
yeah, that was the scary.
Crazy.
That was the scary part too. Is just no Porzingis. I'll talk about my theory with them kind of around that in a moment. But I guess yeah. Initial question, easy question. Just not to say is this real because obviously this is real. This is a very good basketball team, right? Like 48 and
Yeah.
12. Nobody's really touching that. Dominant on offense, dominant on defense. Like this is an amazing basketball team. Like objectively,
Yeah.
give them that. Am I wrong for thinking that? I don't know. Are they gonna win? Should I start? Do we have to start accepting the fact that there's actually a really good chance they win the championship?
I've accepted the fact that they could get to the championship.
I like that. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't see them
I can't see him
because when
beating.
I don't see them beating the Nuggets. Honestly,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in a series, I just don't see. I don't see Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Jokic and Jamal losing that series. Like,
100%.
uh, but I don't know. They're nice. It's just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can see them getting to the championship now. Like they have no reason to not just run through the East
Yeah,
pretty easily. Like
they have that.
that's where it's
Mm-hmm.
like they have to just
Yeah.
run through the East
Cause
and
boy, I'm never nobody. Cause every people are starting to talk big talk now. Like nobody's gonna let y'all live this shit down if y'all find a way to lose to Miami again.
yeah.
That's the big thing, and that's the only reason I can't say guarantee they get out the East because Miami has kind of started to hoop recently. Like had a
Yeah.
pretty good month, like starting to kind of get that shit together, and it's like
Hmm.
that's the only reason I can't say it's guaranteed because it's like yo. But I'll give like such credit. Like this has been Miami's conference essentially since the bubble.
Yeah.
But the one year it wasn't theirs, which throw out the bullshit after the bubble year where the Bucks and the Suns played in the championship. That shit didn't count. But you
Hmm.
take that one away, it's the only time the Heat have actually not been to the finals is when the
Yeah.
Celtics handed them the L. And the Celtics like legitimate L, like no bullshit about it. Like those were the two best teams in the East that year. That shit went 7. Celtics came out on top, right? If there is a
Yeah.
number 2 to the time that the Heat have been dominating, it is the Celtics. They've been to the finals. They've been close a bunch. So like I gotta accept that they are the team to get out the East. It's either them or Miami,
Yeah.
unless we get some weird Joel Embiid stuff. I can't imagine Doc actually pulling it off. But yeah, the West part is interesting, man, because it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
Denver's tough, man. It's just as impressive as what the Celtics did to the Warriors defensively last game.
Hmm.
The Nuggets weren't as impressive defensively against the Warriors when they beat them or beat them last week. That was earlier last week, right? I think that they beat them,
Yeah.
but it was similar of like, oh, this defense can just decide we're not letting this team score anymore, and just
Yeah.
that's what the it's really because it's two tale of two halves, right? The Celtics first quarter, first half really just we're not letting these dudes score, but that was the Nuggets in the second half. The Nuggets give up the lead, they're down
Hmm.
going in the second half, but like that second half is just nah, we're not gonna let y'all
Yeah.
score anymore, and they have that in them too. And that's what
Yeah.
makes, and that's I think what makes it scary is like Denver's capable of playing lockdown defense with their group, especially if you're not like the Thunder or the Clippers, like this fully formed offensive thing. Like if I can find some type of gap in your offense, again, there's not a lot of gaps in Boston's offense. It is just I don't really believe in their top tier scores as much as I should. But it's
Yeah.
like Denver has the ability to play some defense there, and again, that's just an unstoppable force
And
on the other
yeah.
end of the court.
Who's stopping? That's the thing. Who do they have to guard Jokic?
I mean, KP
And I,
makes sense, but it's not. He's not stopping him. It's
it's not
just,
happening.
it's not
Yeah,
happening.
that's where it gets scary. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you shut us down, just like we're just a guard heavy team. It's just like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. You watch Jokic out there. I'm like, who's gonna guard?
Mm-hmm.
Who who's gonna guard him? They might just end up having.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'll just be an interesting offensive and defensive battle. Just that'll be a fun final series if it
Yep.
did happen.
No, yeah, it's
Uh,
gonna be a battle, and that's what I think.
yeah.
That's where I'm at. Where it's like I'm giving them more credit now. Like I think you asked me a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It's like, yeah, Boston can definitely get out the East. I still pick Miami, but they're not beating anybody out the West, and I think that has evolved to I'm picking Denver over the Celtics in the championship. I
Yeah.
probably pick the Clippers over them in the championship just because, again, if you're talking
Hmm.
about Kawhi Leonard going up against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and Kawhi
Yeah.
Leonard is healthy enough to get his team there, it's like I'm picking Kawhi Leonard, I think, in that moment.
Yeah.
I think I'm at a point, man, where like if it's OKC or if it's Minnesota, definitely like I'm picking Boston to beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
Just straight up, they're probably running them niggas off the court, honestly.
Yeah.
If they get them, and I think I would pick Boston unless Shea is just looks literally like the second coming of Michael Jordan in the playoffs. Like unless Shea is
Yeah.
just like 38 a game in the playoffs, like I'm probably picking Boston to beat
Rocking
OKC
with
if
yeah.
OKC gets out of the mix too.
Yeah.
So I'll give them that, man. I'm gonna get this more credit than I've given them all this year. I haven't even acknowledged the fact they can win a championship really yet until this point, but I think it's
I didn't
there.
even think about the Clippers one. I ain't, yeah, that's the one too. Like, yeah, I don't see.
Mhm.
I can't see them beating the Nuggets in the series, and yeah, I don't think I see them beating the Clippers in the series either. I don't see Kawhi.
Mhm.
I don't see Kawhi and James Harden losing that series. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm. Not a lot of series you can say that about with James Harden, but that's one of them,
Yeah.
definitely, especially with Kawhi Leonard next to him.
Yeah.
Okay, other thing about this team, real quick. That's my thought, and this is partially why. This is part of me accepting it because I think the big part, really trying to understand, wrap my head around, because I'm not the only person that has been kind of fighting against this. Boston Celtics are dominant, kind of like the theology or theory right now, but I think I realize why it's been tough for me, and I realize why it's
Mhm.
tough for a lot of us, and I think I found out the way to make it okay in my head, and it's just
Yeah.
this is the only team. This will if the Celtics win a championship here, this will be the first team to win a championship without a clear cut top 15, top 10 player of all time
Mhm.
on the roster since the team that I realized that they are. They're the '04 Pistons. That's what this team is.
Oh.
I've never
Mm.
seen the '04 Pistons are the last team I've seen that had that much defensive talent on the roster, right? Like as far as like
Yeah.
Chauncey Kalaka, Rip was really good defense. Tayshaun had locks. Rashid and Ben Wallace were two of the best interior defenders in basketball, right? And like that's this
Yeah.
like this team like Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, three of the
Oh,
like
yeah.
as far as like just I'll back that up. Derek White, Drew Holiday, two of the best perimeter defenders in basketball, two of the best defenders in basketball. Period. Kristaps
Yeah.
7'3", an amazing rim protector, really good defender. And then like Jalen and Jason are also very good defenders in their own right, and that's not including Al Horford, who was also a very good defender and versatile defender. Like I don't
Yeah.
know if there's been this much defensive talent on a roster since that '04
Yeah.
'04 Pistons team, and also helps me work in my head of like, okay, it makes sense. This is the scenario in which I don't think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have the potential to be like all-time greats in the same way like a Steph or LeBron or Kawhi
Stuff.
can be. I don't think they necessarily
Yeah.
got that in them, but that team can still win a championship if they are '04 Pistons type team. That's just one of the best defenses of all time. They really are that one of the best defenses we've ever seen, just modern
Yeah.
era. So they just shoot a fuck ton of threes instead of running a Larry
Yeah.
Brown offense.
Yeah. That's a good comp. Yeah. Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, had to work it in my head, just like because we just again since 2004, I don't think we can name a single team that won a championship that didn't have one of those
That didn't.
guys,
Yeah.
those guys, and I don't think Tatum or Brown. I don't think Tatum's one of those guys. Maybe he will be. I have trouble seeing it. Maybe he will be one day. Him and Booker. I don't
Yeah.
know why I can't see it, but I just can't see it. So, but hey,
Yeah.
you still win the championship without having one of those guys. You just got to be one of the best defenses ever. So,
Yeah.
and that's what they are. That because that was the thing crazy about. We didn't talk about that part of the Warriors game. Just them niggas made them look like kids, bro. This look like a JV, like those JV
Yeah.
basketball games where you're playing against a team that sucks,
Hmm.
and it's like we're playing half court man, but like even that's too much because these niggas can't. Like these dudes could like literally that stretch at the end of the
Yeah.
second half, into the first half, into the second quarter is like
Yeah.
Steph was just throwing up threes because there was nothing else. Like he would just catch the ball and
Yeah.
throw up a three because they couldn't get like it was.
Hmm.
I've never seen a team just make. I've never seen a team big boy NBA team like that, especially a
Yeah.
good NBA team like that, like some high school basketball shit. I've never seen that before. So
Yeah. Scary stuff. Yeah.
yeah, so
I'm
we'll
gonna
see.
put that.
We'll see. We're accepting. I'm slowly accepting the fact that they can be a championship team.